I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think this is one of the, ladies and gentlemen, 2024 Subaru BRZ TS, standing for Tuned by Subaru. Limited trim, so it goes premium, limited, and TS. And the main things you're getting, first of all, you're gonna get upgraded brakes. Got these Brembos, as you can see. And we have tuned Hitachi dampers. It's gonna be stiffer than the limited as well. Tires, they call them upgraded, but they're actually the same as the limited. We're still on the 215 section width Michelin PS4s right here. We're still powered by the FA24 2.4 liter flat 4 engine, making 228 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque. Coming to the interior, we got, of course, the nice Alcantara that you also get in the limited. We have STI badging here and there. Makes it feel a little bit more special. STI right there as well. Car still weighs in around 2,800 pounds, which by today's standards is a featherweight. And the manuals they now added with the eyesight. When the car first came out, you could not get that unless you had an automatic. So they figured out how to make that work. I'm gonna turn traction off here. This is a car that I have a lot of experience with. It's a lot of fun. Oh, I'm actually getting confused. I was expecting the gauge to change because in the 8.6, you get this gauge when you go to traction off mode, but I guess here it's a little bit different. So I should go into track mode and focus on the higher revs. I like that it zooms in on 4 to red line, because when you're driving on the track, you want that higher resolution on the actual rev range that you're going to be using. So the main question today is, for an extra $5,000, is this worth it? That reminds me, I unplugged the active sound module back in my old 22 GR86 because I think it sounds a little bit harsh and unpleasant. I prefer just the natural sound of the vehicle. You can tell instantly that the suspension is firmer here than in the base BRZ. But it's still a comfortable ride. They keep the center of gravity so low in these vehicles, and they're light, which allows them to keep it comfortable while still maintaining that good body control. And that's one thing that I've always loved about these. The BRZ, still a bit more understeer prone, less oversteer prone, I should say, than the GR86. It's pretty balanced. The GR86 definitely wants to kick the tail out much more frequently. And we actually reviewed this exact car yesterday on the track, which you can watch right up here or linked in the description. Yeah, still a very comfortable ride. It doesn't feel that much stiffer than a limited BRZ from my memory. You still do get, it does still take a slight second to set here and there as you transfer the weight. But this car, this platform, the 8.6, the BRZ, I love them. I mean, good manual transmission, good-ish enough steering, strange stickiness on center. The first gen definitely had better steering. I also feel like it's a little bit too light. Wish it had a heavier steering weight. Throttle response here does have a little bit of that on and off switch nature to it. But you can change that in the aftermarket with these various throttle controllers. One of the big issues I had with the lower trims as well is actually the brakes. On track, they wouldn't hold up, and I had to replace my rotors a few times. And when you get on the brakes here, you do have a firmer pedal, definitely more confidence-inspiring than the stock setup. Now the question is it worth actually getting the TS, the extra 5K? I'd say if you're the kind of guy that likes to keep cars stock, this could make sense. Yeah, still a little bit of inconsistency with that throttle response there. There's a learning curve when it comes to the BRZ and 8.6 when it comes to the throttle response, because it's not always consistent. But if you're the kind of guy that likes to keep the car stock, then this gives you some, I think, welcome upgrades, the brakes being the biggest one. And the dampers, yeah, I mean, if I want to do track work and make this a little bit more hardcore, I'd go even stiffer than this. But this is certainly a step up. Good enough body control, good damping. We're getting single compressions. We're getting the texture of the road while still maintaining the comfort that we want. But if you're the kind of guy that wants to modify your own car, then, I mean, $5K for essentially some badges, brakes, and the dampers, you may want to actually go to the aftermarket, because you can get a big brake kit for a couple of grand. In terms of suspension, you can get coilovers that are exactly what you want, rather than feeling like you're getting something that is, I don't know, for some people this may not be hardcore enough, even though these are good dampers. Yeah, the brakes though, the brakes are so much better. Much firmer pedal. I love that it's so easy to modulate these. I mean, Brembos, I mean, need I say more? I've said it before and I'll say it again, I think this is one of the best platforms and best vehicles for car enthusiasts at the price point around 30K. Again, the premium starts around 28, the limited around 31, 32, and this is around 36. You get a lot of driving enjoyment, driving pleasure, and a great learning tool, because the chassis is so neutral, it's so well balanced that it teaches you how to drive. It's a great tool, and the practicality is way greater than you'd expect for a small little sports car. I like to say that's closer to a sedan than other sports cars, because you fold the seats down. I fit a bike back there. I used to move between apartments in my old FRS, and then even in my GR86, it was my daily driver for half a year before I got my CX-50. Just such a great vehicle. There we go. A little more aggressive of a jab, gets a good rev match, the heel toe. Dude, the brakes are so much better though when you're driving it a little bit harder. So much better. Very welcome upgrade. I think if I got a big brake kit on my GR86, I would have been a lot happier on track. But I knew that I was getting rid of it, so it didn't make sense for me to then buy that and then sell it and, you know, lose value in the vehicle. But if there is one big limitation to this vehicle, it's definitely the engine. It no longer has that torque dip, but man, the sound, it doesn't encourage you to really rev it out. I'm short shifting just about every shift here, because as I go closer to red line, it's not really encouraging me to go further. It's harsh, it's garbage disposal kind of nature to it. It's definitely underrated though. I think it's more around 240 at the crank rather than the 228 based on dyno results. Transmission a little bit better than the first gen, better in terms of going across the gate, like 4th to 5th. But other than that, they're pretty similar. It's a little bit tighter. Just such a great platform, guys. Again, if you are the kind of person that's going to be modifying your own, then probably save your money and then get the exact mods you want. The Brembos are great here. There's also a big brake kit from AP Racing that I was considering for my car. There's a few other brands as well. But my friends, let me know what you think. Brakes, dampers, the TS badging and these little blue accents, is it worth the extra 5K? I'd say if you're gonna modify the car, get the cheaper ones and build from there. If you want to keep a car stock, this might be a great option. But what do you think? Let me know with a comment down below. Much love, my friends. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in the next one.